It should have been peaceful, but this afternoon at Tenerife feels strangely tense.
A small airport, suddenly overflowing with jets it was never built to handle.
What looks harmless is actually fate assembling the pieces for disaster. March 27th, 1977, Tenerife, Spain.
By 2:10 p.m., thick fog begins to swallow the entire airfield.
Because nearby Gran Canaria was hit by a bomb, flights were diverted here.
Then, an anonymous call warns of a second bomb. Fear locks the system down.
Tenerife's small airport becomes a parking lot for wide-body giants. One of them is Pan Am Flight 1736, Boeing 747, diverted with hundreds on board. A seasoned captain, a focused crew, experienced, but trapped in a situation no one expects.
And there is KLM Flight 4805, another 747, arriving from Amsterdam.
KLM's captain is admired, disciplined, confident, highly experienced. But Tenerife have one runway and limited taxiways. It's a bottleneck waiting to snap.
So planes can't even use the taxiway properly. Everything slows. Pressure rises.
To depart, aircraft must backtrack, taxi on the runway, then turn around to take off.
KLM chooses to refuel here, saving time later, but adding time now.
Strict duty time rules hover over the crew. Late departure could trigger serious consequences. Then the message comes. Gran Canaria is open again. Everyone wants to leave, fast.
Pan Am sits trapped behind KLM, no space to pass, no quick way out.
The gap is too narrow for a safe overtake, so the queue becomes destiny. More than 600 souls sit inside these two aircraft, unaware this is the final hour.
At 4:56 p.m., KLM is told to taxi the full runway length, then turn to line up.
Boarding takes longer than expected. Minutes, small on paper, become enormous in fog.
At 5:02 p.m., Pan Am is instructed to follow KLM, then exit via the third taxiway.
But radio quality is weak. First and third blur into uncertainty.
They can barely identify C1 and C2. C3 markings are faint, almost invisible.
Pan Am continues forward, still searching, still not sure where the third exit really is.
At the end, they aim for a different exit, C4, the only one they can clearly see.
Meanwhile, KLM reaches the runway end and turns around to line up for takeoff.
Fog thickens. Visibility drops below 300 meters. No one can see the truth ahead.
Delays, duty time, weather, everything screams the same temptation. Take off now.
Even inside the cockpit, a final caution rises. They have not received takeoff clearance.
The tower has no ground radar. Controllers must rely on sight in blinding fog.
In that blindness, assumptions replace certainty. Everyone believes Pan Am has already exited. ATC gives route instructions, but that is not the same as takeoff clearance.
In 1977, everyone shares a single frequency. Talking over each other can erase warnings.
A response is interpreted as permission. But permission was never actually given.
At 5:06 p.m., KLM releases the brakes and accelerates into the fog.
But Pan Am is still on the runway, turning slowly, trying to escape through C4.
Only 1,400 meters separate them, inside fog that hides everything.
Pan Am warns the runway is not clear, ATC speaks too, and the transmissions collide.
The clearest warning is swallowed by noise. One missing sentence that could have saved everyone.
Even a final doubt surfaces. Where is Pan Am? But momentum overrides caution. In the next 10 seconds, aviation history is about to break forever. Through the fog, Pan Am suddenly sees it. A massive 747 charging straight at them. They try to turn off the runway, anything to avoid the collision.
KLM tries to lift off, seconds too late, speed too high, distance too short.
Then it happens. Two Boeing 747s collide in the fog with unstoppable force. The fuel tanks ignite, flames explode upward, turning the runway into a nightmare.
In the chaos, responders see one burning aircraft and miss the other in the fog.
A small group escapes by jumping from the wing, choosing injury over certain fire. When the smoke clears, the toll is almost beyond comprehension. Hundreds gone.
Teams from multiple nations arrive to answer the hardest question. How could this happen? The conclusion is brutal. KLM began takeoff without an explicit clearance. Hurry, duty time, weather small pressures stacked into one irreversible decision.
One key fix after Tenerife. Standard words. No vague, okay, only clear, cleared for takeoff.
Aviation doubles down on English phraseology, so warnings aren't lost in accent and noise.
Cockpit culture changes too. Challenge and cross-check become survival, not disrespect.
Airports adopt better ground surveillance, so fog can't hide the runway anymore.
If only there was no bomb. If only there was radar. If only the fog lifted.
But out of tragedy, the world rewrites safety, so fewer families face this nightmare. Memorials stand in the Netherlands and the United States, names etched into silence.
At Tenerife, the deadliest force wasn't speed alone, it was confusion, multiplied by fog. A runway meant for takeoff became a tunnel, two giants sharing one path with no sight. Sometimes disaster is not a loud mistake, but one sentence that never gets heard.
KLM 4805, Pan Am 1736. Two flights, one runway, one moment that changed aviation forever.
The world paid a terrible price, but safety rules were rewritten so others might live.
Tenerife reminds us, in aviation, clarity is life, and ambiguity can kill.
If you want more real aviation disasters explained clearly, subscribe and stay with us.
Like the video so others can find it, and share it to honor the lessons written that day.
Behind every statistic is a human life. Families, dreams, and stories that ended in fog. Today's aviation is safer, but Tenerife's lesson still stands. Confirm, clarify, never assume.
This was Tenerife, aviation's darkest runway.
Watch the next case on screen. Thank you for being here.
KLM 4805, and Pan Am 1736, the fateful flights.